The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
And belly on up to the 9-foot homemade oak bar. Pour yourself a cold one. This is the EP Podcast. 30 minutes of good in a world of dumb for Evergreen Park and the surrounding area. And we have so much for you, and it's all brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. You need a bank you can rely on, one that knows your community, provides customized accounts and offers just for you. Count on the First National Bank of Evergreen Park, located at 95th and Pulaski. They are locally based, community bank, committed to the people and businesses right here in the EP. And now when you open up a Total Access checking account, you get a $300 bonus. Open an account today at bankevergreenpark.com/totalaccess/EP. $100 required to open. Requirements to qualify. Must use link to apply. Member FDIC. And I stop in there myself all the time and drop off some EP Podcast car magnets. You can get one inside there. They got a free change machine. They got friendly people. I invite you to stop in. I'll be bringing the kids in there this week to get the older ones brand new checking accounts. I'm bringing these guys in. We're doing this they don't even know I'm doing this, okay?
No. Surprise, Bill! Why are you taking your pants off?
The guys from Southside Pod onto the EP Podcast is a cross promotion here. Because there's something I wanted to talk about on the EP Podcast that I didn't have anybody to talk to. So we have Bill and we have Mike. And if you've never listened to Southside Pod, if you like the EP Podcast, we go and we visit places outside of Evergreen Park, around the South Side. But these guys hang out down at the 9-foot homemade oak bar. And I wanted to tell you something that happened this week. Dominic, my son, graduated from Most Holy Redeemer. And
congratulations.
You know what? It's not a big deal. See, that's the thing.
I don't understand it either. I just said it because it was a formality.
It's just
you just did what you were supposed to do.
I mean, there was a balloon on your front steps when we walked.
There's everything on my front steps.
I have to figure we have to make.
You're supposed to graduate 8th grade.
Yeah. If you show up at my house, there's a sign that says which high school they're each going to. And then there's a big graduation thing for the grammar school he's leaving. I got so many things stuck in front of my house. You would think that they would be paying me instead of me paying them all the tuition for all the free advertising.
You should at least get a discount. Like when you get a little discount from the landscapers if you keep the sign in your lawn for 30 days.
I should get a discount.
Absolutely.
I deserve one because
2 books free.
God, it's expensive. Okay?
2 books.
But anyway, they did this thing in one of the many days. They had an event every day. Great America Awards Night, which was basically graduation 1. Because everybody got an award and they applauded for all the kids.
Everyone got one?
And they found a way to give everybody something. Okay.
What did Dominic get?
He got
Best Dominic.
There were 2 Dominics. He lost.
And second runner-up to Best Dominic.
He did.
The kid
he did get gold. He got the gold ribbons for having a high GPA. Okay. So he did that. But he got an award from Brother Rice, but it was a legacy award because his father went there.
So you won the award.
That's what I said.
Right.
Yeah. Why is his name on there?
That better be hanging on your bedpost.
Right. I'm the one who not only went to Rice, but brought him there, and I'm paying his tuition. Where's my award?
Right.
They did this thing for the kids, and we saw it all at the awards night where they had all the kids in the class answer questionnaires. And that's what I want to tell you guys about because it was really interesting. They asked all these kids different things, and it was really interesting to see who would I like to be, basically, if they weren't them, and who would they like to trade places with?
Okay.
So they wish they were this person, or looked like. It was, I wish I looked like this person, I believe is what it was. And the other one was, who would they like to trade places with? Okay. So boys and girls, there were the same answers, basically, for most of the girls, and the same answers, basically, for most of the boys. So it was telling.
Are you going to make us guess?
Well, you want to guess?
I think that'd be a good thing.
Go for it. Boys first. Who do you think boys want to be or look like?
Or look both like different?
Either one of them.
All right, look like I'm going to say probably Justin Bieber.
No.
Harry Styles.
No. Ryan Reynolds.
That's a good choice.
Okay, they all dig Ryan Reynolds. And I think they like his snarky.
Okay.
I think they like his snarky personality.
Right.
Too. I think that's what it is. And then who would they want to trade places with?
Go ahead, Mike.
Chris Lanuti?
No.
You.
Not even one vote. Not even one. Not even one. Not even one.
Kid?
Not even one. Not even my own kid. Yeah. I think I was under the regrets one.
I'm gonna have to say a musician. I'm gonna go like Harry Styles this time.
Elon Musk. They all want to be rich.
Wow.
They want to be rich and they want to
great.
launch rockets.
Okay.
That's what they want to do. They want to be rich.
Well, I mean, that's what all
launch
rich
rockets and have to give Amber Heard $250,000 for a date.
Yeah,
That's,
That's
what rich people want to do. Launch rockets. So, that makes sense.
All right, girls. And this was
Who
crazy
do they want to
me.
look like?
And now here, this was interchangeable. Some of them picked the one person and some of them picked the other. There were two people that basically filled in for 90% of the girls.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift was third. I saw her name, but she wasn't on the
Olivia
men's.
Rodrigo?
Zendaya girl.
Zendaya.
Am
That
I right?
was the big
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
Okay.
Girls all want to be Zendaya or
Okay.
switch places with Zendaya, but the other name on there was like, to me, I was like, wow, this is a generational thing. This is like, I don't get it because I don't see this person having any talent, but girls look to this girl and they're like, this is who I want to trade places with or look like.
No. I don't know. Katy
Gonna be-
Perry?
No.
No. Think of the most annoying family in the world.
Kim Kardashian.
No, but it's one of her sisters.
Oh, Kylie Jenner?
Kendall Jenner. They all
okay.
want to be Kendall Jenner.
Why?
I don't know. And that was the scariest thing I read.
I don't even know what she...
I don't know which one she is.
Yeah, I don't know. She's one of them.
Okay.
She's one of
There's
them.
like 9
They all wanna
kids
be
in
her,
that
though?
super
They all,
weird.
I guess they all want to be an Instagram model is what it was.
okay.
I was like, girls, Zendaya, go with that. All right. I get it.
Right.
Action hero, really good actress.
Yeah.
Dating Tom Holland. Like, it seems like
Right.
that's, if you want to go in that direction.
Wait, they're dating in real life too? It's
Yeah,
not
you
just
didn't
in the
know
movie?
that?
No.
Come
Oh
on.
my God.
Why
you
would
don't-
I know that?
Well, you don't have a teenage daughter yet. Your
No,
daughter's younger.
I do. Well, she's a teenager.
Wait, how do I know
Well,
that?
then you should know this.
Wait, how do I know that? 1, 2, 3. How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
It's the homemade 9-foot oak bar. How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it? It's the homemade oak bar. We're down here drinking at the homemade 9-foot oak bar. And I know wish you were here and not so far away from the homemade 9-foot oak bar. Is it leek? Is it teak? I don't know, but it's not redwood, it's oak, you know. It's the how many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
It's a homemade 9-foot oak bar. I said, how many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
How many feet is it?
9.
Homemade 9-foot oak bar. Homemade 9-foot oak bar.
Before we bring in our guest today on the EP podcast, I'm thinking to myself, you may have a graduate or somebody that's celebrating something this month or over the summer, and you're looking for a really new and exciting place that you can use for catering. Americanos does catering. The absolute best and authentic Mexican-American food you can find. It's just outside of Evergreen Park, right near the intersection of 111th and Western. They have a ton of options at americanosrestaurant.com for catering. They also have an incredible menu, so many different options there. I'm a big fan of the taco menu. I love the pork belly one. I've talked about it before. They have a brisket one as well, and then all the favorites that you can think of. Big, beautiful bar in there as well with a really extensive selection of tequilas and whiskeys along with beers and wines. Their Cadillac margarita, all premium. Fresh, squeezed ingredients. That's what I like in a margarita. You know what I'm saying? You can have a margarita that's got like sugar and additives in it and maybe get a headache in the morning, or you can have the Cadillac margarita at Americanos. Stop in for lunch, date night, or bring the whole family anytime. I know we're stopping there this week. Visit them today, 11060 Southwestern Avenue. See the entire menu, the catering options, even a brunch option for you at americanosrestaurant.com. Sitting down here at the 9-foot homemade oak bar, a new guest that I've never had here before. I'm learning something new every day about Evergreen Park. It's amazing to me after 4 years of doing the EP podcast. We still have businesses and people that I have yet to talk to. Tammy Bobel reached out to me recently, right, Tammy? And you were like, hey, I'm in Evergreen. I've got this company. It helps out people. And with kids getting out of school, I kind of want to talk about some ideas that I have for something that we're going to be adding to the business, and it sounds really interesting. You brought your friend Deanna Spear with you. How are you, ladies?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having us.
The Center for Self-Actualization, it sounds like some kind of weird space age movie that Tom Cruise would be in which people are being brainwashed and used for food. That's what it sounds like to me. I know that's not what it is, but it seems like it's that. So tell me a little bit about what it is here in Evergreen Park.
I'm glad the title piques your interest.
Yeah, it does.
It is interesting, isn't it? It's very long. It's not the best marketing move ever, but the Center for Self-Actualization is a place where we offer mental health counseling, therapy, as well as yoga for wellness of mind and body.
That makes more sense to me. Let's talk about the thing that you approached me with originally. The idea that we have all these kids getting out of school and it's been a rough couple of years for them. I mean, it really has. I have one that is 16 years old over at Mother Macaulay getting ready for her junior year. And I have a son that's just about to enter high school over at Brother Rice. And I got a little guy who's 6 years old and thinks that he's 47. So I have the whole gamut of children, and they all had different ways that the last couple of years affected them. They really did. I had the one that was angry. She had her 8th grade year ripped away. She thought the whole thing was stupid. She got a chip on her shoulder and kind of shut herself off from like anything that annoyed her. Okay, and just went off in her own direction. I have the other guy who tried to act like it wasn't a big deal, but you could just see. You could just see the weight that was on his shoulders from time to time, and you'd have to go approach him and be like, "You good?" And then it would all come spilling out. And then I had the little guy that just, I don't think he even cared. Like, he just hated his mask, and now he's fine, and he's just moved on. It bounced off him, I think, a little bit easier. What are you seeing with kids, and why are you thinking kids need this kind of help just as much as adults?
If I had to really summarize, I would say coping skills. We adults have all been affected by COVID as well in so many ways. We are anxious, we're depressed, we've gained some weight, we feel uncomfortable in our bodies and our relationships.
We started a podcast in our basement where we drink all the time, right? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff.
For real. It's, all kinds of changes. With kids, though, they didn't have the lifetime of learning to be resilient, of learning to cope. So when you come to the Center for Self-Actualization, you sign up for a yoga class or you sign up for some therapy sessions with a licensed therapist. One of the things you're going to get, coping skills. You're not going to feel alone. You're going to walk into a building where you look around you and you see, wow, look at all of these other people here. We have seen our numbers increase significantly. We've hired many more therapists and yoga instructors as the need rises. Now, all of this is, it's hard, right? Also, I think for the first time in my career, I've been doing this for quite some time, I'm seeing that it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say, I am not okay. So we're reducing stigma and we're reaching out. We're going to get these skills. We're going to get through it. And then we're going to have them for the rest of our lives. We're going to be better off for having gone through this.
Is the yoga aspect just one of them? Is it something that you use to calm people? Because whenever I think of yoga, I think of one of two things. It's either somebody who's sitting basically Indian style on the floor doing the breathe in, breathe out thing that I saw in The Karate Kid, like something along those lines, or they're twisted into a weird pretzel and they're just having a conversation. And I'm like, this is just, you put your body into some weird contorted shape. And I can't do that. Look at me. There's no way that I could do something like that. So tell me a little bit about it. Maybe Deanna, you can kind of explain to me where the yoga comes in. Is it all yoga? Is it yoga and something else?
So the beautiful thing with the center is we have slowly but surely been able to add more and more classes. So we reopened the yoga studio. It'll be a year in July. So that's exciting. Post-COVID, we started with one class and then we've been adding as we've been growing and seeing more need for yoga. But yes, to your point, so we offer that variety of classes. We have the beginner classes where you are, seated a lot. You're focused on breath. You're focused on that mind-body connection. And then we do offer those classes, of course, where, you're maybe putting yourself into a little bit of a pretzel.
Right. The thing that would frighten me the most.
Yeah. We do see value in, both sides of the spectrum here. So, you have the beginners where we have so many beginner-friendly classes, like a mindful class, a restorative yoga class, a yin yoga class, really beginner-friendly, just to get people in the door, to kind of introduce them to yoga, to see all of the beautiful benefits. Unfortunately, and this is kind of, I might go on a rant, so I apologize in advance, but unfortunately, in the West, we have, of course, westernized yoga. It's that Instagram beautiful
hold
photo.
on a second. So you're telling me there's multiple kinds here. That you guys you're like the OG yoga and you're not the Insta yoga? Is that the best way to kind of put it?
I'm not going to knock Instagram yoga.
It's okay to knock Instagram. There's a lot of fake people on Instagram. Go for it, okay? In fact, I don't even worry about making fun of Instagram. It's like the one place where I can't put a link to my shows. We're barely on Instagram. Make fun of all of them.
I do think, everybody's yoga journey is different. So, if eventually you do get to that beautiful Instagram photo, whatever,
with the sunsets,
more power to you.
Right.
But it's so much more than that. It is really, truly about that mind-body connection, being able to have tools to overcome things like anxiety, things like depression, just another coping mechanism, right? So therapy paired with yoga is just a really beautiful combination. And why not? Why not add more to help people cope with these, various things that they're dealing with?
We're going to keep chatting in just a moment, but let's do your Evergreen Park bulletin board right now. The day this episode comes out, June 6th, the anniversary of D-Day, and also a big meeting at the high school in the evening. You heard Mayor Kelly Burke on this show a couple of episodes ago talking about it already and explaining it. Now she'll take questions from the public. It's all about a piece of property the village is selling just west of Kedzie on 98th Street. The property is set to be developed for townhomes, which are expected to bring in over $400,000 per unit. You can go back and listen to the entire show with the mayor where she explains it. It's on demand anywhere podcasts can be found and always at the eppodcast.com. But I'll let her tell you when the meeting is.
June 6th at 5:30 at the high school. But if you have questions before then or you can't make the meeting, you can give me a call at Village Hall, 708-422-1551, and I will gladly discuss it with you. I will meet you out at the property and walk you through it so you can kind of get an idea of what the project would look like if it is approved. Or email me at kburke@evpkadm.org.
The Evergreen Park Library is doing something really cool. My little guy's into it. Read Beyond the Beaten Path. Children, teens, and adults can win a bunch of exciting prizes for reaching their reading goals. You sign up in person or via the Beanstack app. Be on the lookout for all the adventurous summer events the library has planned as well. Register now for the Reptile Show coming up this Wednesday, just a few days after this episode releases, June the 8th at 6:30 p.m. They also start preschool story time at the park over at 90th and Troy, 9:30 in the morning, this coming Monday, the 13th of June, for kids 3 to 5 years old, combining stories, songs, crafts, and games. Register, find out all the details, and look at everything else the library has to offer at evergreenparklibrary.org. If you or someone you love and care about is recovering at home from an illness or hospitalization, suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, living with a chronic health condition, terminally ill, or a fall risk, Hibernian Home Care with a heart, right here in Evergreen Park, wants to help out. Their care focuses on all activities of daily living. They're locally owned and operated by a registered nurse with over 25 years experience in healthcare. Learn more at hibernianhomecareservice.com or call Mary Murphy at 708-634-2450. Really cool story coming out of Evergreen Park High School. The students sending 701 teddy bears to Robb Elementary School in Texas. That way, all of the students and staff have one to enjoy. One 6-foot-tall teddy bear will also remain at EPCHS in memory of the 21 lives lost in that tragedy. And two of our more recent guests, the folks that run Sid Sauce, that's the Evergreen Park couple growing peppers in their backyard, and then like friends and family's backyards, and then using the peppers to make delicious hot sauce, and it's really good. They're offering free delivery right now to all customers in this area. They go door to door. Hot sauce can speed up your metabolism. It contains beta-carotene and antioxidants, and it's tasty on food. I swear by it, folks. It's like the only place I'm getting my hot sauce from ever again. Sid Sauce, check them out on Facebook right now. Just look up Sid Sauce and spice things up a little bit. That is your EP Podcast bulletin board. If you have something for the bulletin board, reach out. You can leave a voicemail about anything or type in a message and send it to us at theeppodcast.com. All right, let's get back to the Center for Self-Actualization. These ladies sitting here with me talking about something I don't know if I could do. I hear what you're talking about, and the first thing that pops into my head is, well, this can't be for me because I get angry really quickly. I have a general dislike for stupid people. I have like an edge to myself. I may come walking into your center in the worst mood possible, and you're going to be like, Goose Fraba, and, sit down and we're going to light some incense. I mean, like, I don't have time for this crap. So, I mean, like, I think that may be one of the barriers. And you're telling me, we're really not like that. We kind of expect you to come walk in the door a little agitated. And there's science behind what we're doing, right?
We expect you to come as you are. As a matter of fact, I just noticed one of my colleagues put a sign on her door. We've got 11 individual offices here at the Evergreen Park location. We also have a location in Blue Island, a smaller office. But Office 1 at the Evergreen Park office has a sign on it that says, come as you are. Every time I go in and out of my office, I see that sign. And again, I get that little smile on my face because you, Chris, you're welcome. You are absolutely welcome. You will come as you are. And we have a saying, meet them where they are. So it doesn't matter if you're the most angry guy in the world. Non-judgment is the foundation of what we do. So here's me, Little Miss Non-Judgment. I walk into the yoga studio, and I'm very much a student there. I am not a yoga instructor. And I take one of Deanna's classes or one of the other yoga instructors. And by the way, the yoga instructors are all shapes, sizes, and ages. You can be a senior who can barely get out of a chair.
See, because I see yoga and I think to myself, all right, very physically fit people who are not going to fart really loudly when they get shaped into a pretzel. Me, loud farter. That's exactly what happens.
It happens. It happens a lot.
Does it happen a lot, Deanna?
And there's no judgment.
Yeah, I guarantee it happes. You twist somebody into a position they haven't been in a while, stuff's going to come out.
I saw one time saying, I can't do yoga, I'm not flexible enough. Or I can't balance well enough is like saying, I can't take a bath, I'm too dirty. That's stuck.
I guess it's good. Yeah. Now, you know what? Look, I just went to Great America with my daughter, who, again, we go back to what we started with here. The kids had a rough couple of years. She missed her 8th grade trip. Her brothers, 2 years younger, got to go because things are now back to normal to a point where he got all the stuff she missed out on. She was like 2 months away from it, and it got ripped away in March of 2020. And again, that chip that was on her shoulder. And every once in a while, when I can try to find a way to take that off, I do something like, hey, come on, I'm taking you the same day that he's going. We're going. And I rode all the rides, and I feel old. I've never felt more old than I do today, the day after I went to Great America, bouncing around in roller coasters. There were 2 of them I had a hard time getting out of. I was like, oh my goodness, somebody's going to have to lift me out of here. And I am not. I play softball in the summer and do like men's league stuff. And I was just an old mess getting out of some of these rides. So this may be something that gets things working again, is what you're saying.
You know, we will give you a free class and you will love it.
Well, I like free.
And by the way, there are men who come to our classes. Yeah.
Do you think you'll have coaxing you'll have to do if you start doing things with kids? As we started this off, we talked a little bit about that. Like, what are the plans? What are you thinking here as we close this out?
Yeah, so working with kids definitely has its own challenges because you're managing these, little people who have their own ideas of what they want to do and when, while also teaching yoga.
And when you're saying kids, are you thinking little kids or are you thinking teens?
We're thinking all of them.
Really? Okay.
We're thinking all of them. And I think that we do have to...
Because it's hard enough managing a t-ball team. I don't know how you're going to get a bunch of little kids to do yoga.
Right. Deanna has tricks. She has tricks. She makes it fun. She makes it. You turn the
Sounds
poses
like juice
into
boxes and candy is what she might have.
Yeah, you turn the poses into animals, for example. So like, maybe you can give an example or two of what a kids yoga class would look like.
for example, turning the poses into animals. So, with my little ones, I have a 3 and a 5-year-old at home, and occasionally when I'm practicing yoga, they'll jump in and, do it with me. And cat cow, we're meowing for the cat, we're mooing for the cow, and there's, little fun things that you can do. You can also throw in toys. I've been to plenty of yoga classes where it's literally toddlers running around and there's toys everywhere, and it's just a really nice break for mom to be able to come in, take baby or toddler with them to a yoga class. So when they're really little like that, they get to see mom or dad doing something that they like doing, that's keeping them happy and physically active and just feeling good. And then, baby boy, baby girl gets to run around and pick up the toys and jump on mom occasionally. But yeah, the various age groups, I think, right now for me personally, a passion of mine to really start to move forward with yoga and offering yoga to kids would be teens. I think that they, get what's going on in the world. My little ones don't fully understand yet, so it's you don't have to have those super difficult conversations yet. So to be able to tap into the teenage group and just give them an outlet, a safe space to be able to come to physically move their body and to really learn how to connect. It's, again, I feel like a broken record, but it's truly about that mind-body connection, feeling the breath with the body, just being able to be present, even if it's just for 5 minutes, so many benefits.
Very cool.
They play really great music too, by the way. I think some people prefer no music, but one of my favorite parts of yoga is the music. So sometimes the beat goes up a little bit and you're feeling it, and then other times it's a little more relaxing, and I think that's beneficial to the kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Tammy Bobel is the director over at the Center for Self-Actualization. Deanna Spear is one of the, do you call it instructors, leaders? What would you go with there?
So, yes, I am one of the instructors.
Yep.
And the yoga studio manager.
And the yoga studio.
And a fantastic one at that.
Look at this. She's got multiple titles. That's awesome. All right. You can check out more that has to do with the Center for looking. You can look up their website, forselfactualization.com. Forselfactualization.com. You have a phone number you want to give out?
Yes, 708-529-3011.
All right. We got some Evergreen Parkers with an Evergreen Park business you probably had no idea existed. And maybe it'll help you out a little bit this summer. Sounds like a really good idea. Ladies, thanks for coming down here.
Thank you, Chris. This is fun.
It's now time for a quick look at what else is going on the Broadcast Basement On Demand Radio Network right now and available to you on demand. It's all brought to you by Cool Clouds Vapor Shop. Quitting smoking is hard. Cool Clouds right here in Evergreen Park wants to help you quit smoking and give you an alternative. They have a full taster bar and plenty of CBD products as well. Check them out. 3837 West 95th Street right here in the EP, or go to coolcloudsvapor.com. Right now, the White Sox are not playing so well, but they've won a few games over this past weekend. The podcast for fans, by fans, and all White Sox, Sox in the Basement, has James Fegan, beat reporter for The Athletic, currently available as our most recent guest on demand, talking about what's going on in the clubhouse. We get into who you can blame for this bad start. Meanwhile, on Southside Pod, we're chilling out right now at the Flossmoor Station Brewing Company. They have their soon-to-open Caboose Bar nearby, and we're tasting some summer brews. We're also getting ready for a pig roast and weekend party very soon at the Rock Island Public House in Blue Island. Explore outside of Evergreen Park on Southside Pod, anywhere podcasts can be found, and always at southsidepod.com. I'm actually going to bring the guys back in from Southside Pod to end the show. My two buddies, Bill and Mike, do that show with me. Comes out once a week on Thursdays, exploring the Southside beyond Evergreen Park. Before I do that, let me mention real quick that if you have a need for home medical equipment, whether it be a CPAP machine or you need setup in your bathroom to get around and not hurt yourself, getting into the tub a little bit easier, a ramp outside the home, chair lifts, a way to get up the stairs, You don't want to leave your house. You want to be able to live independently. And that's why Evergreen Park is lucky to have Hyatt Home Medical Equipment based right here in the EP. Big brand new showroom right there on 95th Street. They're local. They're here to answer your questions. They have financing available, and you get to choose your medical equipment provider. They work with the insurance. Switch to a new age of life and talk to them today. 3518 West 95th Street here in Evergreen Park, or check out Hyatt Home Medical Equipment online at hhme.com. And I was feeling pretty old after going to Great America and riding all the roller coasters with my teenage daughter. That was a lot easier when I was younger. And here's the thing, guys. I don't know if riding roller coasters is the same now as it was when we were younger, because I feel like they were trying to kill me. Like they were trying to prove you don't need as many safety features on these very dangerous rides because we've got the technology.
Is it that one,
now.
the wooden one that goes upside down?
The wooden one that goes upside
Goliath
down.
or something?
Goliath?
Yeah.
Like I'm on
Ridiculous.
I have a lap bar. All I have
That's
is a
it.
lap bar.
And they go upside down twice.
And yes! And the second time,
You're
actually
just riding upside
run
down.
upside down. It's not like a loop. You just turn upside down and go upside down.
You're hanging there, and all you have is a lap bar.
It was awful. But
Yeah.
the one that is the scariest one is Superman.
Yeah, I don't like that
Have
one.
you done that one?
I've done that
Yeah.
one, yeah. The
It
last
was-
It
like-
has some kind of reverse loop that I don't understand, and it makes me sick every time.
Let me
It's
understand
like
this right.
Super whips you around, yeah.
Every single roller coaster I went on had multiple harnesses.
Yeah.
They had a seatbelt and the thing that went over you.
Right.
They had like, the shoulder bar and a lap bar. This puts a shoulder bar on you, and then you're done.
Right.
Now,
and then
of course,
they tip you up like sideways.
you are laying flat against
If that
the
thing
shoulder
lets
bar.
loose,
So if that opens up, I just
you're
fall
done.
out of the ride, right?
Other ones they let loose, you're still seated.
You're right. And then, but then the scariest thing was, here I am, I'm riding this thing, and I'm like laying on my stomach essentially with just the shoulder bars holding me in, right? But they've also put bars across my ankles. And I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
so the secondary harness is just my ankles.
Right, you're
So
just
if this
hanging.
comes open,
Right.
I will die
Right.
being swung back and forth by my
Right.
feet.
Right, like a
As-
kid carries her dolls.
Right,
You know,
that's-
like just.
like,
Yeah, right.
the body won't fall on the people below. It will be destroyed and dragged across the ground
You
when they come
imagine
into the
being next
station.
to that guy? Like, you all right? I think he's okay.
The first indication it was
Hits
a
his head and
problem
everything.
was when the train pulled up right before we got on. When the coaster pulled up to let
Yeah.
people off, and there was a guy who was just passed out, just hanging
Oh,
off.
absolutely
Like,
nice.
it was so scary. He was done. And I looked at my daughter. I said, wait a minute. Why are we doing this? And it was way too late. I mean, you're old when you're sore after roller coasters and you thought you were actually going to die.
But you could die on that one easily if that falls off.
Oh, that
you
one,
know?
I picked spaces where I was like, if we went around that loop right there and it came loose, I would have flown into that building
Right, you'd
and been a spot.
at least seriously injured. Like
Oh,
you start
at
off as
least?
Superman and end off as Christopher Reeve.
It's quite the ride. It's quite the ride.
ride.
That's quite the ride.
Worth the price of admission.
Another show is wrapped up. Another show's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. And then by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. And we'll see you next week. And the nude is basement. And the nude is basement. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And it's in the books. Another show is wrapped up. Another show is wrapped up. And by the looks, it's gonna be a good one. Nudie's Basement. Broadcast Basement. The Nudie's Basement. The Broad Basement. Slancha.
The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at the eppodcast.com.